Or what do you look for later tonight? Some keys to early returns, perhaps? I would look definitely at the East Coast here. Georgia's got a whole new way of doing things there. That law they signed in May. You're going to get a lot of red and blue on this map before the 8 Eastern hour. All right, they close at 7 o'clock. North Carolina closes at 7:30. We expect a faster count for North Carolina as well. We'll see some clues in a lot of the rural counties in Georgia and North Carolina to see whether or not Trump is holding on to the strength that he has shown in previous elections. The other thing I would think about right now is what happens in Pennsylvania when they close at 8 o'clock. It's a huge mail-in vote there, right? Could be a long delay. You know, the processing started earlier today when the polls opened at 7 a.m. And you saw the margin of difference 4 years ago. Pennsylvania at 81,000 between Biden and Trump. Let's move back over here. Two people who know this all too well, right? Kayleigh McEnany and Kevin McCarthy are here today. And good morning to both of you. Mr. Speaker, good morning. Yes. What are you looking at? What are you watching?
I'm watching Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is the entire country. If Trump wins Pennsylvania, he will become reelected as president. If we lose Pennsylvania, we're going to have a really hard time to win. And if you look at the last 4 years to today, we were behind by 1 million votes. Today, we're only behind 400,000 by early voting. That's a good sign for Trump. Philadelphia is where the Democrats bring their big turnout. We've got to watch where that is, the rural vote, where it's coming in. For Congress, there's a number of seats I'll watch early in Pennsylvania, 7 and 8. I'll watch in Virginia, the 2 races. I'll watch Maine, if we pick that one up.
What about New York?
New York, I'm watching, can we defend? I think Lawler holds it on. There's 3 races in there, the Williams, D'Esposito, and Mark Monaro. Those are the tight ones I'm watching closely. Then you want to watch North Carolina 1, okay? Republicans going to add 3 already, but if we pick up the 1st district and the turnout there, if you look in the polling, looks like we're behind, but the black vote there is only 36%. If it stays low, we can win that seat. And if we win those, it's going to be a big night for Republicans. And it's tight right now, and I think the presidential will determine the House.
How important is it? It's interesting, Kayleigh. So if Harris wins and there's a Republican Senate, which is likely to happen, or if Trump wins, he has a Republican Senate but a Democratic House, are we looking at gridlock?
Yes, we are. Look, this is hugely important. Second to the presidential race, I am watching the Senate, and I'm watching it closely. For Republicans, think about it. You don't have the House, you have gridlock. But if you have the Senate, if, as we think will happen, Jim Justice prevails in West Virginia, if you pick up another like Montana, if you defeat John Tester, you get 51 votes. That means you're looking at judges and potentially justices. I know we still have the filibuster there. And then in the event of a Kamala Harris presidency, you have a bulwark, if you're a Republican, against the most radical elements of her agenda as they see it. So I would be watching very closely Bernie Moreno in Ohio. I'd be watching Michigan. There's a number of close races. And if you get to 50, 51, that's the magic number, and you're in good shape as a Republican. Even if you lose the presidency, at least you have that buffer.
Yeah, what do you think about 2 years ago when we were thinking, which led to your speakership, we were thinking that the Republican advantage was going to be greater than it actually was. So the red wave was not necessarily a red mirage, but it was more of a red ripple. Polling, they tell us that they've adjusted their ways, that they can compensate for the miss in 2016 of Trump voters and the miss in 2020 as Trump voters as well. What are you learning about that? You think that
I learned the pollings are never right. When election comes, you learn what was wrong in the polling. Like if we were looking here 4 years ago, the generic ballot was +6 for the Democrats. Today it's only 0.4 for Republicans, which makes the environment better. But you also said Biden was going to win Wisconsin by 6 points. They got Trump off by 4 points. He only won Wisconsin, Biden, by 20,000 votes. So there's an undercount somewhere. You don't know where the undercount is yet. That's the interesting part. Nate Cohen writes that white Republicans are 16% less likely to answer the phones in the polls. So is that in case? The election will determine that. And then we'll look back and say this was wrong about the polls, and we rely too much on the polls. I look at where the ground is, and I look where the environment is. You can have a great candidate, but timing is everything. I go back to the Gallup poll asking, do you identify with Republican or Democrat? For the first time in history, Republicans won that, 48 to 45. Generic ballot is better for us. So the climate is better. It's whether who gets the low propensity voters out. There is not an undecided voter in America. That's a myth.
Okay, let's get a final word from you, Kayleigh. What are you looking for tonight? Like, what's like a key indicator for you?
A key indicator for me is I'm watching the vote totals as they rack up. I've been monitoring Philadelphia County, monitoring Pennsylvania, seeing if Virginia stays close. If Virginia stays close and isn't called early, that's a great sign for President Trump. Of course, Georgia's the first one that we'll watch when the polls close at 7. But I would just say this, if I'm President Trump, look, no one knows what's going to happen today, but I would feel very good. The fact that in Nevada and North Carolina, Republicans are marching in with an early vote lead, and adding to that, Arizona as well. This is a big deal. Republicans don't normally lead in the early vote. Anything can happen, but if I'm Trump, I'm loving Nate Cohn, what he said. There's no reason to believe pollsters fixed what went wrong in 2020. And what went wrong in 2020 was underestimating the strength of the Trump voter.
Oh.
Great to have
Good
you
stuff,
both.
guys.
Thank you so much. We'll see you tonight.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you.
Yes.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.